So we've got Endorphin with us. We've got let's see.
Everybody's in these cool fucking places. I'm in like a goddamn broom closet to stay away from my kids.
Hell yeah. I'm about to put my kids in the broom closet because they're playing Fortnite and they're playing loud as hell. So and I'm like, come on.
Yep.
I'm like, you guys are playing fork knife? And they're like, no, Dad, Fortnite. And I'm like, yeah, fork knife, the same shit that we use to eat a steak with, right? And they're like, no.
The steak game, it's awesome.
Right. They get pissed off at me. So that's, that's whenever you're doing a great job as a dad, whenever you can piss off your kids. All right. So we've got
I love doing that.
So we've got Jimmy and Adam.
My
We've got
6-year-old is now starting all kinds of conversations with the word imagine. He's like, hey, imagine. And I always mess with him like, imagine dragons? No. Imagine all people? No. Imagine me and you and me. I just fuck with him as much as I can.
Yeah.
Get him to the point of, turning red.
Oh, yeah.
6-year-old.
Well, I mean, my 11-year-old and my 8-year-old, they're both boys, and they play Fortnite from the opposite ends of the house, and then they scream at each other. I'm in between going, can you guys just go in the other room and slap the hell out of one another or something, so I don't have to listen to all of this?
What is that?
All right, I don't know what happened, but I fell out for a second.
Yeah, we lost your video.
Yeah. I don't have the super awesome pro Zoom stuff, so it's relegating me to 40 minutes. So we'll try to get through this as quickly as possible. That when I'm not wasting you guys' time.
No worries, man.
But I just jumping right into it. So yeah. I see that you guys have been around for quite a while. I mean, I think I remember you guys, what, 2010 era?
I think the band had actually already broken up at that point.
Really?
Yeah. I want to say the band broke up in 2009.
Okay.
2008 or 2009.
Wow. So you guys have been around a while. So
yeah.
Wow.
Several incarnations.
Yeah,
we've been around.
I've got white too, man.
Quite a while.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at you guys' Facebook page. I tried to find you on Spotify, but I guess us old people, we can't figure out Spotify either.
Well, that's coming. We've got a bunch of new music dropping. Friday, the first single drops from the new EP.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then the next EP, or I'm sorry, the next single will be, I believe, November 16th. Let me double check real quick.
Okay.
November 18th. So we got this Friday, the 21st, then November 18th, then December 16th will be the third single, and then the full EP is available January 13th. That's the first Friday the 13th of the year.
Nice. Now, are you guys going to release some of your older stuff also, or?
We are. I think we're going to release all the older stuff.
It doesn't matter. The first single's going to come out.
Lost you there, Jimbo.
It's not going to matter. That first single's going to come out and it's going to flop, and then nobody's going to care about the other two.
Oh, hell no, man. No, I just saw you guys at the Lydia Can't Breathe backyard bash, and for one, that was a hell of a show. I fucking loved you guys, but
thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, for two, I mean, that song Spaghetti, was it Spaghetti that y'all had?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did we play Spaghetti that night?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we played Spaghetti. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a badass song. I was like, fuck yeah, I want to listen to this in my car on the way home. So I looked you all up on Spotify and I'm like, shit.
We're planning to re-release the album that is on sometime probably around the spring.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll probably be re-released in the spring.
I also see that you guys got a show coming up at the Haven, also with Lydia Can't Breathe, Traverser, Kill the Sound, and Scream at the Sky.
Yes, we do. That'll be November 19th. Yeah, it's the day after the second single drops.
Yeah, and then you guys get to play the new song on stage with all of these other long-term people like Kill the Sound and Traverser and Lydia Can't Breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the scene has been around for a while, everybody. So and it was funny, a lot of us have been in and out of the same circles and not even like bumped into one another for some odd reason.
Yeah, like I'm not even sure if you and I have ever met, man.
I met you briefly. And this is, oh God, I'm wanting to say it was maybe a year or so ago out at the Haven. I could be wrong, but I usually hang out with Tim Griar from Murderfly.
I think Jimmy knows them, right?
Tim.
Oh yeah, I've met Murderfly once when I was in I Owe Nothing.
Okay. And
I'm gonna try something, fellas, and see if this helps out a little bit.
Okay.
It already seems like the connection's a little better, man.
Yeah. And I've been friends with like Mechanism and Bobby Keller and all those people for a couple years. So Chris Marsh Productions, all that kind of good stuff.
Okay,
so.
Yeah. I just saw Bobby the other night at Meshuggah. We hung out.
Really?
Yeah, we're both Driftwood Amps artists, and
hell yeah!
And that's my buddy.
I actually did one of my first interviews at his apartment there above. Was it Sam
Cheesecake
Ash
Factory?
Yeah,
right above Cheesecake in the Guitar Center.
Yeah, Guitar Center. Yeah. So it was like I went up there and he showed me the apartment. I'm like, holy shit! His dog, was cool, and he wanted to be part of the interview the whole time, but yeah, I mean, so like I said, I mean, I've been part of this since I'm gonna say about 2002. So about 20 years now. We had a band over here that got pretty big. We played a lot of shows in Orlando, like the Visage. I don't know, you guys remember that?
Visage.
Yeah,
Visage. I mean, honestly, to me, that sounds like a vaginal massage. That's my first thought, but I'm old. I was around, after or before all that.
I was around before vaginal massages.
Before vaginal massages, man.
So yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, we played a bunch of shows. I think I'm wanting to say Visage is over there where the old Club Firestone is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was like right back behind there. I mean, it turned into like a country bar, and then it got tore down. So, but anyways, there was also, was it Fairbanks Inn?
The FBI.
I used to live behind the FBI. I used to live, there was a tattoo shop called Built for Speed that used to be right behind the FBI.
Yes.
And
yes,
I lived upstairs from the tattoo shop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet that lady Phoenix that used to run the FBI?
No, I never did.
It was just okay. I remember being like on the phone with her, like I think the old man was talking to her, trying to book some kind of a gig, and she's just like, "I gotta go." Like, what? Like, yeah, I just got in a car accident on I-4. Like, oh shit.
I remember that. I totally remember that. Yeah.
Wow.
Jim was like, "Hey, Phoenix just got in a car accident while I was on the phone with her." What?
You don't think it was because he's like, "Hey, can you check your schedule? Look in your black book."
That was back in the day of planners too. Like you had to look at, you had to open the planner.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Not planter, planner.
It kind of takes me back to whenever I don't know if you guys the comedian, of course, it's Gabriel Iglesias, where he's talking about the cop with the Rolodex. I'm like, I'm like, my kids turned around and looked at me. They're like, "What's a Rolodex?"
Is that like a watch?
my friend was wearing one of those. He was trying to sell it to me. I met a crackhead who had a Rolodex once.
I had one of those phone books where it had the flip up thing, but you slide the to the letter that you wanted to go to. Yeah, I had one of those phone books.
It was like the jukebox of phone books.
It was awesome, man. It was like cutting edge technology and shit. All right.
I remember back in the day, my sister was like, she rolled hard, man. She had like 2 beepers.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I got a beeper. I literally had it for maybe 5 hours before I lost it in the movie theater.
Oh, no.
Like, I was pissed. I was like, now I gotta go and buy another one. I was like, it took me like a week to save up for this shit.
It's just hidden under a seat, and some unsuspecting moviegoer just keeps hearing voo, 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 the whole movie. Voo, voo. What the fuck is that?
I'm just thinking, if that happened nowadays, you could just whip out the old cell phone and beep your own beeper.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, what the hell would you have a beeper for nowadays?
Right.
I'm old school, man.
I mean, back in those days, we would have to go out to the payphone out in front of the movie theater.
Yeah.
Dude, back in those days, they would sell 100 fucking foot line of this coily fucking cord that you could hook your landline up to and literally walk around your whole house with a fucking stretchy line going everywhere.
I had one of those, man, and it was hilarious because it was like on the center wall in my kitchen, and like you can walk towards the bedrooms and then walk all the way back around by the living room and then walk right back into the kitchen. So it was like a big circle. My mom and dad used to get so fucking pissed because I would have that cord wrapped all the way around.
They're trying to walk through, they're just getting clotheslined.
Like Spider-Man just freaking ejaculated all over your house.
It's coily for some reason.
And you know what? I think we should just go back to the day of kids wanting to listen to our music and shit. They need to wait until they listen to it on WJRR and press fucking record.
I remember doing that back in the 90s. There used to be a metal show on Sunday nights at midnight on 98 Rock in Tampa called The Pit.
I remember that. Holy shit, dude. Yeah.
The 2 dudes who ran the show, one of them was in a band called Black, and he was the drummer, and they were a really cool band. I used to do that same thing. I'm just sitting there waiting for stuff to come on that I wanted to hear. I'm like, oh shit, there it is, and press record, or I'd record the whole show and listen to it the next day, because I was in school, man. I was like 16, 17 when that was going on. I
did that with Headbangers Ball, man, like with Ricky Rackman and shit. So I mean, I sat there and I would record it all night, and then I'd go and watch it the next day if my dad didn't already tape over it with NASCAR or something.
That's got to be the ultimate disappointment. You're like expecting to see Slayer videos and it's NASCAR instead.
Oh man, it was horrible. It was like, and it was funny because he didn't know when to start the recording, and it was like I would get halfway through the new Megadeth song, and then it was just like, Dale Earnhardt is in the wall, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
Ultimate disappointment.
Darryl Waltrip is taking number 1, and I'm like, oh, come on, get out of here with this crap. So
I remember. Go ahead. No, back in those days, like I was the metal kid, honestly, if it was screaming, I was into it back in those days.
Oh yeah.
And my sister was all about like Jodeci and Keith Sweat and all this like really horrible. But like I remember getting her Shy. You remember Shy? That ooh da do do do. Like I remember getting that single and it was a cassette. And you could take a piece of paper and shove in that little square in the cassette. And recording like I think it was like Perfect Circle. Nobody had ever heard of Perfect Circle. I remember like just she's not gonna listen to this and recording this new song. It's just like, ooh, like, yeah.
No, it was funny you say that because my sister, she was into stuff like Radiohead and shit like that. So she went ahead and she went to one of the Mother's music. You guys remember Mother's back in the day, right? So they sold tapes and everything. But anyways, she went over to this tape store and she thought that she was picking up the new Radiohead. She brought it home and she like threw this tape at me and she's like, this was not Radiohead. And I'm like, you didn't, what is it? And like, I picked it up and I looked at it. It was the first Rage Against the Machine tape. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So I listened to like Killing in the Name and Bomb Track. And I'm like, oh dude, I was like, I'm glad that you picked up here's $5. Go get yourself the new Radiohead tape.
While you're at it, pick me up another Rage Against the Machine tape.
Because I'm about to wear this fucker out.
That'd be amazing if you gave her the $5 and she came back with like Evil Empire, like, oh here, oh damn it.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, she tried to pick up like Queensryche or something, and got something off. But anyways, so like I'm excited to hear you guys' new stuff. I mean, like I said, you guys played two of the new songs at the show the other week.
Yeah.
And it was freaking amazing, and I'm glad to see you guys back, especially, because, this is like a resurgence of some of the older names in the scene coming back. And I completely and totally dig that.
I think it's a cool thing too, man. Like I know that some of the older bands that were around back in the day have kind of rebranded themselves and called themselves something different. It's mostly the same guys, like our buddies in Ignid, who we used to share rehearsal space with.
I remember
they are now 10 Foot Mountain, and their songs are awesome. I mean, it's not like Ignid was bad, but like I think Darius is writing. His writing has just gotten so much better. He's an awesome musician.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
And then
go ahead.
On the flip side, you've got Gargamel, who's been Gargamel since Frampton came to life. Like
Gargamel has been around for a long ass time.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
Now.
Yep. Like man daddy, more like granddaddy.
Now I don't know if you guys remember a band a long time ago was Bongwater Taffy.
Yeah, I remember
that. Yeah, so they actually one of the guys used to live across the street from us, and we would have basically like a battle of the bands in our garages. So we would turn our amps up, they would turn their amps up, and we would see who could be the loudest in the neighborhood. And the shit was fucking hilarious because you'd have really hardcore metal, and then you had Bongwater Taffy over here on this side. None of it went together, but it was fucking awesome.
Hey, let's write a song. Okay, what do you want to call it?
Acid trip.
Whoever the cops call or gets the cops called first is the winner of the Battle of the Bands.
As soon as you see the cop turn the corner, then shut the garage door real quick. Whoever
blame it on the other guys.
Whoever, you just come outside, you're just like, man, you hear that shit's terrible, right? Go get him.
Whoever the cop pulls up in the driveway, that's the loser.
Good Lord.
So you guys got the show coming up on the 19th. What other shows do you guys got coming up?
Well, I know we got something with Filth in January.
That's the 13th. That's the release day of the EP.
The Friday the 13th.
Yep.
So, there's rumor that it's going to be at the Shovelhead. It's supposed to be either Shovelhead or the Haven. I'm not really sure yet. Details are, still coming. It's January. We got time to figure that one out. And then March, we're doing a benefit for ovarian cancer.
Okay.
at the Haven, and that's somewhere mid-March, I think.
That's the
Something
beginning.
like
I think
that.
it's going to be the 3rd.
Okay.
I think that's going to be March 3rd.
I got the March part right.
Yeah.
I didn't get the March
That's
part
close
right.
enough, man.
It all works.
If you know me, that's a big, like, I don't know. I never know until like the day of.
So what made you guys want to come out of retirement, so to say?
It was an accident.
Really?
It was literally an accident. So Jimmy and Everett had a new band called Dr. Awesome Balls and the Compendium of Historical Importantness.
That is fucking awesome name.
Nice.
And the guitar player was Pete Medrano, who's been a friend of ours for a long time, very, very long time. And they wanted to cover Spaghetti, the Indorphin tune at one of their shows. So Pete hit me up and he said, "Hey man, you got to show me how to play that middle section of Spaghetti, or the chorus of Spaghetti." He's like, "I don't know how to play that." And then he told me what they were doing. They were going to cover it and play it at a show. And I was like, "That would be awesome, man. I'll show you how to do it." And he was like, "Well, you should just come play the song with us." And I was like, "That would be a killer surprise." Then that turned into, well, if me, Jimmy, and Everett are doing this and you're going to be on the other guitar, we should get Tanner to come play bass on the song. And so we asked Tanner and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. That sounds fun." So it turned into one song in the middle of a Dr. Awesome Balls set, turned into, well, if we're all here, why don't we play 3 songs? Why don't we do 3 Indorphin songs? All right, cool. That turned into, why don't we do half a set? Which eventually turned into Dr. Awesome Balls is not playing the show, Indorphin is playing the show. And so in typical Indorphin form and fashion, it was a whole lot of work for a joke.
Nice.
Pretty much our MO is put a ridiculous amount of time into one silly thing. And that's what it turned out to be. But it literally turned into, okay, now I got to teach Pete the whole Indorphin set. So I taught him the set. And okay, we should start rehearsing for the set. And I walked into the first rehearsal and Jimmy and Pete and Everett were jamming on what became a song that's going to be on our new EP. I was like, "What is that? That's really cool." They're like, "I don't know. We've been messing with it. Let's fuck with it." Okay. We ended up writing a song. I'm like, "I think we're a band again, dude. That's it. We're playing a show and now we have a song. Like this is going too far." All right.
Yeah. Those first couple of songs popped off real quick too. It was like,
yes,
Adam came. The Goat was written in a day, pretty much. I mean, better part of a day. And then the next rehearsal he came to, it was like, "Well, hey, we've got this other stuff." And Adam's like, "Well, I got this that goes perfect with it." Bam, another song within like 2 weeks, something like that. We had a couple of songs going, and it's like, that's the way. That's the way it always used to be when we, it was towards the end of Indorphin is when it kind of stagnated and was like we'd have one song every great now and again. But earlier in the early days, it was just like song. Is it good? I don't care. Just do it.
Right.
And so that's kind of how these have been popping off. Pretty quickly.
Well, I think we actually had time to write. That's the thing. Like we came back and we're like, we played this show and we're like, all right, cool. This went really well. I think we're a band again. Let's we got these songs that are coming out. Let's start booking a bunch of shows. And that's what we did. And then COVID happened. A bunch of shows turned into we're not playing at all. So what do you do when you're a band and you don't play shows? You just keep writing music.
Yeah. And then you have a lot of extra material.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's kind of what I'm doing with Florida Metal Radio right now. It's like I took like a 9-month break. I was going to completely and totally scrap the project. Now I'm doing 8 interviews this week, and I'm debuting them 1 a week. So
that's awesome.
That's cool. Not only that, but I don't know if you probably run into the same thing. Musicians run into it where it's like, by the end of Indorphin, we were we had dropped our rehearsal space altogether. There's no sense in having a rehearsal space because we're touring constantly. We're playing live shows, 4 or 5 times a week at least. And like when you do that, you kind of get in this mode of okay, we're in the back parking lot smoking dope, and then we're in the loading our gear into a shitty club, and then we play the club, and then we're loading our gear out, and we're going to the next show, and that becomes everyday life. And don't get me wrong, partying with the people is the funnest part of that whole situation for me.
Oh yeah.
But like doing it every single day, and then going back to a rehearsal space and saying, okay, what life experience do I have to pour into a song? And it's not much, man. It's just the backs of clubs, the insides of clubs, the fronts of clubs, next club. That's kind of your life experience for that time. So coming back after years of being apart, we got plenty of life experience to draw off of, and writing these songs,
Yeah.
So I mean, not to make myself sound older than I already fucking am.
No, but I do think lyrically, like, you've dug a lot deeper this time. Like a lot of the old Endorphin tunes, like there were only a few scattered throughout the old records that were like really about something.
Yeah, like So Many Days or Inside.
Yeah, exactly. But I think this new record, like most of it is about something. I think there's only like there's really one song that's Nonsense on Purpose. That's going to be the third single, and that song is actually all in Spanish, and none of it translates.
Nice.
None of it translates. That's the whole point. But then there's another song that really the pre-chorus of the song tells the story, and other than that, it's kind of nonsensical and, as Jimmy calls it, theater of the mind. But the other three songs on the album are really deep and some of the best lyrical content I've heard him write.
Well, that's pretty badass. I can't wait to hear it.
I knew for sure you were going to be like, the best lyrical content I've ever heard in my life. It's like, no, that's the best he's ever done.
Yeah, man, I've heard Neil Peart. All right.
I'll give you that, man. I think people give him, more credit as a drummer than a lyricist, and I'd say that credit needs to be spread out.
Oh, he was a lyricist.
Oh yeah,
phenomenal lyricist.
I don't think a lot of people understood that, Rush was a conglomerate of not just, with the music part of it, but the lyrics, they were all a part of it. So I've always had respect for Rush.
I mean, any band that can keep the general population just as interested in an instrumental as they can in a hit single is doing it right.
Yeah, 100%.
Any band that technically made it with Geddy Lee's voice is a phenomenal band. Love them or hate them. Geddy Lee has a very divisive voice, man. Either you love it or you hate it, man.
Well, we have Spaghetti Lee. That's him.
Spaghetti Lee.
Well, guys, I don't mean to cut this short, but I am actually running out of time. I got about a minute before it's going to cut me off anyways, but I just wanted to thank you guys so kindly for helping me out with the whole BS this past weekend, and then, agreeing to be on the show in general. But you guys have been great. It's been great talking to you, going down kind of memory road here with you guys and stuff. So
thanks for having us on, man. This is it's been an absolute pleasure. And first single drops on Friday. I don't know when you're releasing this episode, but first single's out October 21st, and that's going to be the title track, which is Food Fight at the OK Corral, and then that album drops on January 13th.
So this particular episode, I was going to drop it 2 weeks from, so let's see, hold on a second. I have the date here. Of course, I don't have the date here. Son of a bitch.
Is it going to be in November?
No, it would have been, well, actually, yeah, it would have been in November. Let's see. So the November 2nd is when it would have been. So,
all right. So then everybody watching this, go find Food Fight at the OK Corral. And then November 18th, Patina is released.
Nice.
That's the one I'm excited for. That's the one Daddy likes right there. That's the
I think you guys played that at the Lydia Can't Breathe show, didn't you?
We did.
Adam said no.
We had no time. No. So we played one of the songs that's going to be not actually a single. And then we also played the first single. We played Food Fight at the OK Corral.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much.
You'll hear them all at the show.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, anybody watching this right now, this is going to be played on November 2nd. The Food Fight, the OK Corral is already out. Go find it. It should be on streaming platforms as we speak. Look for Indorphine, and you guys are great. I will see you at the Haven.
Thanks, Brad.
See you there, brother. Thank you
Cheers.
again, man.
See you guys later. Appreciate it.
Later, brother.